now, which is that crazy man-made island that looks like a palm leaf. I'm guessing you guys have seen that before, right? By the way, who here has been to Dubai before? Just hands up. Amanda, Andres? Okay. It's weird. It's weird. Like when you're in crypto, you think everyone's in crypto. And when you're in Dubai, you think everybody's been to Dubai. But when you actually ask, you realize that very few people are in crypto and very few people have been to Dubai. So I've had calls like this where 1 in 10 have been here. And I just forget. Also, if you're in North America, it's a long way away. I'm 12 hours from my dad in San Diego. So I'm literally on the opposite side of the earth when I try to talk to him. And again, with my dad in San Diego, when I tell him I'm in Dubai, he's like, "Oh, it's the most dangerous place in the world. It's so dangerous there. Aren't you worried about Iran?" And I'm like, "Yeah, is it dangerous? Because we didn't have a school shooting last weekend, Dad." And so it's amazing how you can kind of forget about your world and focus on something that's having problems and forget that you don't actually live in paradise and there's actually problems everywhere. What's fascinating about Dubai is it feels remarkably safe because it is super safe, and it's a very tolerant place as well. It's actually illegal to offend someone. You don't see anybody raising their voices. It's really kind of a fascinating piece that you'll get lulled in here. Honestly, what the parents complain about here is that when their kids grow up here, they've never been bullied, they've never been in a fight, and they don't know how to deal with the real world, right? Now you might think, that's a high quality problem to have, but like that literally is the case because you just get lulled into a sense. Like I saw a lady yelling at someone in the service sector the other day, and it shocked me because I had never seen that before, right? Even though the service sector people come from Myanmar and Pakistan and Sri Lanka, but like you just don't do that here. And I almost walked over to this lady who I didn't know, and I almost said, "We don't do that here. We just don't do that here," because it's like it's part of the code here. It's kind of wild. And so it's a place I love to be in. Twist my arm to be here, especially in the winter in London. And this week was incredible for me, and I can't wait to get to my presentation. There's like all sorts of amazing things when it comes to investing in this space. But this week is crazy because I started filming a reality show, TV show that we're producing around luxury transformations. So I started really going into the venues and I started hanging out with the developers and really getting my fingers dirty as far as what's going on. And it was wild. On yesterday, I was at a 200 million Durham super villa. Okay, now you're like, what's a Durham, Brian? Okay, it's about a 50 million pound house, 50 million pounds, or about $60 million. The place is like it blows you away. When you go in there, you're just like your jaw drops. Because like I walked in, it's got these like, I don't know, they must have been like 50, 60 foot high ceilings when you walk in, this crazy artwork. And then the whole thing opens up to the beach because it's on one of the fronds of the palm. It's on frond G, known as Billionaires Row. Okay. So, and then all the windows and glass open up, and it must have been like 100 feet long in the living room, dining room, whatever. And it's all glass opens up. And so the marble floor goes right out into an infinity pool to the beach and then obviously to the water. And you're just walking around this thing and you're just like, man, this is crazy. And then the detail, all the Italian appliances and the marble and then the master bedroom. And these places come furnished as well. They come with bed linens, they come with everything. So, like, it's called turnkey luxury. You literally walk right in. So, I got video for it, crazy stuff. Some of you might have, I think I sent through a video to a few people today of me walking the outside, but it just shows you what luxury buyers want in this city. And I actually put a luxury concierge named Kareem in the episode, and he really opened my mind to what people demand here. When they come here, they don't just want a luxury house. They need the luxury cars. They want the invites to the parties. They want to host people. They need everything. They want to plug into a lifestyle. Now, look, for most of us, we might not ever get there. It's like the 1% of the 1%. But the fact that people are willing to pay top dollar for that means that we can make money on these luxury refurbishments. Does that make a little bit of sense, Andres or Amanda? And so people are willing to pay a premium for super luxury or ultra luxury properties they can walk into. Now, so I'm asking one of the developers, I'm like, yeah, but I've heard about the brand new Bugatti building. I've heard about the new Lamborghini building. I've heard about the Mercedes-Benz towers they're building. By the way, that's a thing in Dubai where you take a brand and you actually branded after a luxury whatever, right? Car company or whatever. And then they build these and they sell out. So the Bugatti, which is a supercar, I don't know if you know it, they usually cost between 2 and 5 million bucks each. I have a few friends here with them, and they just sold their penthouse for $150 million US. It's the largest sale of any penthouse in the Middle East ever. And so what you're seeing is there's a demand, but there's actually a real scarcity of these one of one properties. And I found out real quickly that if you're a billionaire player and you're moving to Dubai, you don't want to just get some penthouse. You want a villa. You want a family house where you can entertain as well. And so I'm starting to see how we can offer such incredible returns in these projects. And it's been crazy. I also was in a place called Al Barari, which is out towards the desert. But when you walk in it, you feel like you're in an oasis. I mean, it was crazy. It's full of greenery. It's got like a lake. It's got like a stream. And I was like, I feel like I'm in Colorado. It was the weirdest thing. And this has been around for 20 years. And they're refurbing these villas that are 15, 20 years old. But the neighborhood and the vibe, you can't really create. Because to get that greenery anywhere else, it has to be on a golf course. Not everybody wants to live on a golf course. It's also very flat. This has like ducks and walking around. And it's like, it feels like you're in England in a weird way. And here's one other weird thing is I drove by a development, Mark. This was crazy, and it said we're building a forest here. So pretty soon you're going to have a house overlooking a forest, like pine trees. And I'm like, okay, only in Dubai can you do that. Of course, down the road you can go downhill skiing in the Dubai Mall or the Emirates Mall. And I actually went there with my two boys the other day, and it was for reals. Like you go in there, it's snowing. Everyone's walking around with gloves. There's snow sleds and people are skiing. There's ski lifts on the inside. So look, what I love about Dubai is if you can dream it, they can make it happen. These guys and men and women think big here. And that's why it's really inspiring to be here. So look, let me jump into this. We have been inundated with demand for people that want to join this property circle. We've never really did anything in property, even though I've had a lot of great mentors over the years. And we've never made it so easy to join in and invest in something that can outbeat the S&P 500 or your savings account by a long way while keeping the risk very low because we own property at the end of the day. So it's a way you can take advantage of this boom in Dubai without having to live here and flip properties. Everybody knows this place is hot. Most people realize this is going up. And I don't know where you're from, Andres and Amanda, but I'm sorry. The West is going down. And I'm in London normally, and it's just slowly deteriorating. If I'm honest, it's not going to turn around. Same with Europe. I think the next 20 years, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. The US would have as well, but they got a president that's turning it around. How long that will last, I don't know. But I believe that the new West will be the Middle East. And this is a place where everyone is going to do big things. And that makes it really exciting. So let me jump in. I'll talk about what's going on. Feel free to ask me any question. Just put it in the general chat. I can't be offended at this point. After 15 years of London Real, I've been called everything in the book. So feel free to call me whatever you want and ask me any questions. I don't mind. And let's jump in here and get started. Raise your hand if you can see this very happy looking guy in the middle of Dubai. Yeah, there you go. Okay. And here's the big headline I want to share with this article that came out a couple days ago. $5 billion has been moved in silence. And that is through 500 sales of Dubai's $10 million plus luxury properties. Okay. Now, look, you get more for your dollar here than you would in Miami or London, but not that much more. So that's probably equivalent to a $20 million house in Miami, New York City, London, which gets you a pretty good, decent house. So we're talking about very serious properties. And of course, we're going to show you how we are investing and looking to make 40 to 90% returns. Folks, this is that headline. And again, you can see that it just hit a landmark high with 500 sales of properties at over $10 million. And this is the sector we're going for. It's called ultra luxury, right? There's a lot of variants of luxury. And when you look at Dubai, you think everything's luxury. The truth is it's not, And again, there's a lot of other people that work here in the service sector that can't afford luxury. And so, this is just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And what we're doing is also not subject to market cycles. And I'll talk about that shortly. Here's another headline that I literally stumbled on going on Google News about a week ago. And it was literally right there on Arabian Business. And someone had bought a Palm Jumeirah villa, which I'm overlooking right now, for $3 million. And they sold it for $6.5 million in 13 months. So I get DMs every day saying, Brian, 40 to 90% returns. That's insane. That's impossible. You must be out of your mind. You're a former Wall Street banker. You should know better. I'm like, oh, really? So I sent him this article. And I'm like, who's out of their mind? I wasn't even looking for this. And someone out there just flipped a property in 13 months and made 118%. So this is happening. The question is, do you want to watch other people make money or do you want to jump in? I think we got about a 3 or 4 year opportunity to take advantage of this before it get kind of arbitraged out and the returns aren't there. Folks, before we get started, I just want to say this presentation is for information purposes only. It's not intended to be investment advice. If you are looking for that, please go find a professional. Also, I want to give you this free video, which is how to invest in luxury Dubai real estate in 3 easy steps. I'll give you the link to that at the end of this presentation. So just hang with me for 30 minutes and we'll get that to you. And I think you'll really enjoy that. Obviously, watch that once we're finished if you can, because hopefully I'll be taking away all of your attention until then. Folks, who is Brian Rose? Who is that crazy guy in the suits? Well, a lot of you don't know I started my career on Wall Street back in 1993. I got recruited straight out of MIT. They were looking for us engineers to be their rocket scientists and run their derivatives models. And I went to New York at the budding age of 21, 22. And had honestly the most epic adventure. Like I had so much fun on that trading floor. It was crazy. It was irreverent. It was violent at times. They were doing things they can't do these days, but I saw a lot of people making a lot of money. And I learned a lot about capital flows and investing. And I'll tell you, I learned one thing. Oh, from there, I moved to the First National Bank of Chicago in Chicago and ran a desk. I moved to London to do credit derivatives, and I spent time in our Tokyo desk as well. So I've seen people around the world making lots of money. And I realized one thing. If you want to make money, it's all about access. Who has access to the deals? And a lot of times that doesn't matter how wealthy you are or the school you went to. It just means, do you know someone who has the deal flow? Now, that's what I learned was important. And so that's what we're giving to London Realers. Because of our platform, and I'll explain this shortly, we're going to get access to these deals because they want a huge media platform like us. I can offer these deals to you. You wouldn't even know these were happening, let alone get access to these deals. And that's what we can provide here because that's how you make money. Of course, in 2010, 11, I quit my job in London as a derivatives broker. And I decided, as my kids say, to become a YouTuber. That's what dad does. He's a YouTuber. And so I spent the last 15 years of my life interviewing over 1,000 of the greatest minds on the planet, super smart people, a lot of them involved in huge, huge real estate plays and finance plays, and other people that, like jumping in ice water like Wim Hof and, like running super triathlons like David Goggins. And so I learned a lot from those people. And that also set me up for doing this latest venture. Over the last 5 years, I've been coming to Dubai because we've been investing heavily in the blockchain space. And I fell in love with this place. That's the truth. I fell in love with London 20 some years ago. And now I'm falling in love with Dubai. And that's just the truth. You got to follow your heart, right? And I've always loved this place from day one. But I never understood how I could invest in that place. Does that make sense, Andres? Like I was like, I love Dubai, but how can I go all in on Dubai? Like, how can if I know this is the place to be, how can I double my money or triple my money in the next few years if I'm right? And I mean, I must be honest, Andres. I'm not the brightest, bulb on the rack because one day I looked around and I was like, what do I look at when I'm here? I'm staring at all the buildings. You got the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. You got the Palm Jumeirah, right? You got the Royal Atlantis Hotel, which I'm filming at on Tuesday, which is, I think, the most gorgeous hotel in the world. And I woke up one day and I said, it's the property, stupid. Of course, it's the property. If you really want to bet on the future of this nation, buy property, but do it in the right way. So that's what we decided to do with the property circle. And of course, we now have 1 billion views, 5 million subscribers, and we're really well known here. I get stopped more in Dubai than I do in London. Folks, I'm rattling through some of my mentors. This is Grant Cardone. Raise your hand if you know Grant. If you know Grant, Amanda, or Andres. He is a very well-known property developer. Some people love him, some people hate him. And when I met Grant, he actually had less than $1 billion under management. Now he's got over $5 billion of assets under management. And, Grant is amazing. Grant is a guy that just moves forward. He has a great phrase that I would repeat to myself when I was running to be mayor of London. And that is this: criticism is a sign of success. I want more. That's what he used to say. And so the truth is, you're only getting criticized if you're important. And of course, if you want to be important, you have to do great things. And so I always tried to reframe the fact when people are criticizing you, because people always they always hate up. They never hate down. Nobody ever hates on the homeless person. And so whenever I'm getting criticism, it means I know I'm doing something right. And that's an important thing that Grant taught me. He also taught me to go all in on things. And that's exactly what we're doing here. This is Robert Kiyosaki. Does everybody know Robert? He wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's an amazing, amazing book. And Robert's become a great friend. I first interviewed him on the show, I think about 10 years ago. And he blew me away. And we're now really good friends. He texts me all the time. I've gone on stage with him in Singapore and in Phoenix, Arizona, and of course in London. And he taught me to own real things. Robert owns real estate, he owns gold, and he owns Bitcoin because they're real and you can't make more of them. And I love that concept. And that's why us owning real estate just makes it a very safe investment compared with a lot of alternatives. Folks, this is Jim Rickards. He wrote a book called Currency Wars. Jim's a legend. He was a huge player on Wall Street. And he also does war games with the CIA every year, but they're actually money war games. So how could other people attack the US when it comes to a monetary and currency standpoint? And he's always been really helpful. And of course, a lot of you know Dan Pena, the $1 trillion man. Anybody know Dan here? He's got a castle in Scotland, and here I am accepting his award. He put me on his Hall of Fame alongside his other billionaires up there. And from what everyone tells me, this is the only known photo of Dan Pena with a smile. And so we're not quite sure if that was AI made or not, but apparently he's happy here. Also, he claims he's like 6 inches taller than me, but clearly, we know that's not true based on this photo. So just throwing that back at you, Dan. But Dan is an incredible guy. He's called the $1 trillion man because he's created $1 trillion of value by his mentoring. And I think that's actually up to 6, 7, 8 trillion at this point. And look, Dan taught me just to go big. He taught me a few things. He said, you need to pull the trigger in life because unless you take action, you have no information. He also said that high performance people make decisions based on imperfect information. What does that mean? Well, a deal is either hot or it's not. You know it right when you see it. Just like a man or a woman's either hot or they're not. You don't got to put it on a spreadsheet, do you, Amanda? You just know. And the same thing with a deal. You just know if it's hot. Now, that doesn't mean you don't do your due diligence. Of course you do. But you know if there's something special here. And I knew this was special right away. Just like I knew podcasting was special back 15 years ago. I just knew there was something here that was electric. There was something to explore here. And that's something that Dan taught me a lot about. So why Dubai? Well, first of all, it's the #1 destination for global wealth migration, period. And I'll show you a slide. The next slide is going to blow your mind. There's also a severe shortage of turnkey luxury supply. What does that mean? Exactly what you think it is. I turn the key, I walk in, and it's done. All right? Now, let me tell you a story. I've tried to get my family to relocate here from London, and they're all kind of hemming and hawing. And so I know what it's like if you're a billionaire and you want to move your family from Monaco or Hong Kong or New York City or LA or Miami to Dubai. The last thing you want to say is, honey, I got this great place, but it's going to be dusty for 12 months while we fix it up. Do you think that's going to work? Anybody think that's going to work? No, it's not going to work. Worst case, you move into the place and it's totally empty and you're arguing about furniture for the next 18 months, right? That'll test any marriage, right? And let alone your kids, that's the last thing they want to do. These people want it all sorted. And that's exactly what we're providing. You walk in and everything's done. And like I said, this guy, Kareem, who's the concierge, he makes sure. I said, what's the #1 problem that women have and men have when they move into the houses? And I thought they'd be like, well, the kid's in the right school. He said, no, the women want Birkin bags and the men want supercars. I was like, okay, what about the kids? And they're like, yeah, that's important too. But they want to get in the right clubs, they want the right stuff, and they want to get plugged into the network. They want the best chefs so they can host the dinner parties, so they can do business and jump in the social circle. He's like, we provide all of that. And he said, and the house is a big part of that. It just is a big part of the statement you make when you come here. And that's exactly what we're catering to, that there's a group of people that will pay for this. And that's how we're going to make these outsized returns. Of course, this market is built for high performance returns. Why? #1, no personal tax. Let me repeat that. Because Andres and Amanda, I don't know where you're at right now, but I bet there's more than 0% personal tax, right? So 0 here and no capital gains tax and a very, very tiny corporate tax that just got put in. So it's just a no-brainer. It's a tax. Of course, massive economic growth here, real population growth, not by letting immigrants through the border without looking. Where did they come from? I don't know. Here, if you're coming in, this has a 5% growth rate, the city of Dubai. And that's growing from billionaires, millionaires, and highly skilled people that want to be here and make a difference. I'll tell you a quick anecdote. When I moved back to London in May, I was walking down the streets, Andres, and I noticed something very strange. I was like, wow, that's weird. It worried me at first. You know what it was? It was a slow moving human being, right? And I was like, I was like in the jungle. What's that? Right? And I was like, what is that? Because I've never seen a slow moving being in Dubai. I've just never seen it. And in London, you see these people that are like, it's like zombie apocalypse. And you don't know until you compare it to Dubai. But like they're walking along like they got nowhere to go because they probably don't. They're probably collecting a check from the government and they just don't care. In Dubai, you don't see any of that because everybody here is moving or they're leaving. And His Royal Highness here has a saying, and he says this. He says, in the morning, when you wake up, whether you're a lion or you're a gazelle, he said, you run. That's what you do in Dubai. You run. And I love it because it really suits my personality because I love running. I don't really like taking time off. And this place is just for people that want to move. And that's why everybody is coming here. And of course, there's massive cash rich and international buyers. Take a look at this slide. This will blow your mind. 142,000 millionaires relocated back last year in 2025. Where did most of them go? Any guesses? Probably not a surprise, Amanda. They came here to the United Arab Emirates. 9.8 thousand millionaires and Lord knows how many billionaires or decabillionaires. I know a couple centibillionaires here. Isn't that crazy? And if you go all the way to the bottom of that chart, where did they leave from? 16,500 left from my current home country, United Kingdom. 16,500, right? Look at this. This is not slowing down anytime soon. I'm sure the Labour government in the UK is going to tell you, but it's not. It's going to probably get worse. Why is that? Well, the West is taxing and taxing and taxing. The UK just raised taxes on wealthy people that were living outside, had assets outside the US, and a bunch of them left. Also, you know, it's a dangerous place now, London. You get your watch stolen, you get your phone stolen, you can get stabbed. And also, there's no social services. So I'm paying 50% tax for a national health system that's broken. My tube station, which is the underground in London, is Old Street. And the last time they cleaned my station, I think it was 1964. And it really looks like that. And so you ask yourself, I don't mind paying taxes, but for what? Now here, I don't pay any taxes. And I think Dubai was voted as the cleanest city in the world last year. In the morning, they don't just sweep the sidewalks by the beach, they mop the sidewalks. I saw a piece of trash the other day. It was a plastic bag that blew by. And I thought, what's that? I hadn't seen one of those in like a year. So it's super clean. Homelessness is illegal. There's no crime. I can put my Rolex watch down on the pavement. I come back the next day. It's still in the same place. All right. It's just an incredible place to be. And everyone's moving here. I always say Dubai is anti-fragile. What does that mean? When the world gets a shock, right? COVID in 2020, everyone's moved here. When Russians invaded Ukraine, 22, everyone moved here. Russians and Ukrainians. October 7th in Israel, everybody moved here. And now tax increases in London and UK, everyone moves here. As more shocks hit the globe, people will always move to Dubai because they get shocked into the system that they want to change and they always come here. Folks, what's a luxury transformation project? It's a targeted upgrade of a premium property. We're going to premium neighborhoods, into villas that you might say, this is nice, Brian, but we're going to make it ultra rich nice. All right. It's designed to match exactly what global buyers want. They want these turnkey solutions. And we have a strategy that's built to unlock significant value fast. Why? Quick turnaround times. I'm not building a project that's going to take 3 years. Our current deal we're closing right now is going to take 12 months. Imagine getting your money back in 12 months. Amazing. And we're getting high performance returns on the back of it. And we don't have to time the market, right? Very unlikely the market's going to do a complete 180 in 12 months. Now, in 4 years, maybe, but in 12 months, very, very unlikely. So it really reduces a lot of the risks that you normally have by investing in property. Folks, we've seen 40 to 90% in these deals, all right? And that's what blows us away. I want to play for you a quick video because sometimes I just don't do a very good job describing kind of what we're doing or just the excitement of it. But, you know, every day that I'm here, I'm just feeling more and more excited about this. I'm learning more and more, and I feel like I could just bring more and more to this group.
Dubai real estate is exploding, and the biggest money is being made where almost nobody is looking, in premium luxury transformation projects that have historically delivered 40 to 90% annual returns. That is incredible. For years, these opportunities were locked inside private networks. You never saw them. You never had access until now. I've spent 15 years on Wall Street and 5 years studying Dubai up close. And today, for the first time ever, you can invest directly alongside my team. We have just received a brand new project with real potential for outsized returns. And early allocations always fill fast. Click the link and apply now. Your opportunity starts today.
All right, that's a little slice of what we're doing. I'm sure some of you maybe have seen a video like that before, but just want to get, that's kind of the feel, that's kind of the vibe. And every day I'm just seeing more and more opportunities. Like I said, on the inside now, we're closing out one deal for a neighborhood called Al Barari, and there's a little bit left if you're interested. And then of course, we're just looking for more deals after that. Folks, this is a case study of the same developer we're working on with Al Barari. And this is one where they bought a villa in the Palm Jumeirah. So you can see the Palm here. This is from the Palm side looking forward. Actually, you can see my building I'm in right now on the far right-hand side of this picture. And here are the numbers. They acquired this villa for $7.1 million. They spent $6.3 million on renovations and permits. Their total cost to invest was 13.4. And 12 months later, they flipped it to an international buyer for $25.9 million. That's a 93.8% return in 12 months. Right, this was done. This was a deal that was actually done. Probably not a surprise. You saw that other deal in the news. Now, look, this is definitely probably the high end of that, but it just shows you what's possible. Folks, this is the article I showed you earlier. 500 sales at 10 million, the most ever, growing 194% since 2020. This is just going to keep going up. The story of Dubai is barely known. Most people in America don't get it. Right? And it's far away, and they're worried about all these things that don't really make a lot of sense. Europe is slowly learning. The UK knows a lot of people here, but there's still a lot of people to move here, right? A lot. Dubai luxury property hit record highs in 2025. You can see some of the numbers here, but really crazy. It talks about that penthouse in the Business Bay that changed hands for 150 million. 70 properties worth at least $25 million were also closed in 2025, right? We're really talking about that ultra luxury. And again, more than $9 billion of prime sales, with the ultra rich increasingly buying homes rather than just investing in properties. That's the key here, folks. We're not selling investments. We're selling people homes. So this isn't about someone timing the market or flipping houses. This is about selling something that is bespoke, that is one of one, that is something that really becomes part of their identity. And that's really what's big about it. Of course, you saw this article where they flipped this one for 118%. Bugatti, Mercedes-Benz, and Lamborghini are now creating their own towers. I mean, Benz did a show the other day. It was insane. It was at night. It was on these widescreen TVs that were like 300 feet long. They're building like 11 or 14 different towers. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I've seen the Twin Towers or the Petronas Towers where they got 11 or 14 buildings making like a whole sculpture in the sky. It's like insane. And these are huge brands that have a lot to lose if they go wrong, and they're betting on this place. So it just goes to show this is a very, very good bet. Of course, Pagani, a lot of Aston Martin, they're all building homes here as well. This is the record I talked about, 150 million, for that penthouse in the Bugatti building, not even built yet. And of course, we know UAE luxury property is set for a sustained boom. It's going to go from 45 billion in 2025 to 70 billion in 2030. And again, it's what you expect. International high net worth buyers. Boom. This talks about next year. We're thinking it's going to rise in the $10 million home sales. And of course, now Dubai outshines London, Miami, and Phuket in Thailand as the place people want to be. More numbers, just stronger and stronger revenue. Transactions jumped 31% in November, and just big demand across the penthouses and the villas. Folks, here's our latest deal. We're super excited about it. I was out there in Al Barari. It's a place where there's greenery, which is just unheard of. And it's actually got a beautiful view. You can see the birds in the background, and it's amazing. And I saw all the plans. The architect walked me through. It's just like, they're really doing beautiful, beautiful work. And it's just a place where I can see why a lot of people want to call home. Folks, the returns we're seeing here is incredible. Like I said, I worked on Wall Street for a long time. In your savings account this year, you're going to get 3%, 4%, which will be outpaced by inflation. So you'll make less than zero. If you put in the S&P 500 last year, you made 15% before inflation. Take out 4 or 5 for inflation, that's 10%. Congratulations. Most people agree the S&P will not do that this year. People are calling for 10%. So you don't have the kind of choices that we have here of a 40 to 90% return. And even if it's only 30, you're going to outweigh anything else you can invest in by probably 3x. So let me ask you a very candid question. What are your returns like on your portfolio this year? Are they anywhere near that? If you compound a 40 or 50% return for a few years in a row, you can start doubling and tripling and quadrupling your money. That's what we're doing here. So how does London Real get access to these deals? Simple. It's our media platform. I've been doing this for 15 years, billion views, 5 million subscribers. They're not coming to me because of my pretty smile. They're coming to us because they know we can boost what they're doing because of our media platform, and we can pass this on to you. And I always say success is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. We built this over the last 15 years, and now we can use it as a way to make our London Real family incredible amounts of money and change their lives. Look, a lot of you probably felt like Drake in the top. You guys have tried to invest in property on your own. Maybe you bought an extra property, Andres, or two, and found yourself fixing bathrooms on the weekends. Amanda, I don't know, maybe that you did that too. I personally never wanted anything to do with that, okay? And again, just to be clear here, we invest in these projects through a special purpose vehicle. Like you won't have to do anything to the property. And that's what I wanted to find. I wanted to find a way where I could invest in property, where I'm not have to flip houses and do all that nonsense. I just want to make a bet and get my check. That's what I want. And that's what we're doing here at London Real. And it's called the Luxury Property Investment Circle. I think it's probably the fastest selling product we've ever created in 15 years. Like I really underestimated this. We spent the last 4 years in crypto, and I'll talk about that and all the success we've had there. But I never realized that crypto is 5% of the market and property represents 90% of the market is comfortable with property. They get it. They own property. They live in property and then get their head around it. Less so with other things. And so if you go to londonreal.tv/Dubai, in 20 seconds, you can fill out this application and apply to be in our program. Put in your name, your email, your phone number, a rough idea of how much you want to invest, even though you can invest as little as $10,000 per deal, and give us 10 or 20 words why you want to join the circle. Application goes right to my inbox, and then my team starts doing a little research on you. We check out how long you've been on a London Reel, how long you've been a reeler, how many episodes have you watched, have you bought any of my courses in the past, have you been to any of our live events? All these things give you points. If you don't have any of that stuff, we're probably going to reject you. But if you have been with us for this journey for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years, then we probably want you on the team. To be honest, I'm too old to deal with nonsense. The last thing I need is another member of this club that's not going to be with our values and our vision. Honestly, just don't need it. So we only want people here that are like us and have our vision for the world. Folks, a lot of you know I ran to be London mayor in 2021 and 2024. Those were crazy times indeed. My last run, I was running on a pro-crypto, pro-freedom of speech platform. And look, I put everything into London. I love this city. It gave me everything. My children were born in this city. And up until a couple of years ago, I was going to be buried in that city. But the truth is that maybe in many ways, it let me down a little. Now, not because they didn't elect me for mayor. I don't even know if I would have liked that job, but I would have done it until I died. That's for sure. Because I really loved everything the city gave me. But the truth is that London's not London anymore. A couple hundred years ago, it was a place you could go and you could create your fortune and the government would stay out of your way. Now you can't do that. It's even hard to do in the US, but that's what Dubai is. I always used to say Dubai is what America used to be. It's a place where you can go and they'll leave you alone. You can run your business and you can follow your dream. No one's going to tell you not to. No one's going to tax you. No one's going to stop you. But that's what they're doing here. And that's why we set up our studios here a few years ago. This is London Real in Dubai. And I've interviewed the top people in the world here. This is Dr. Marwan Al-Zaruni. He's a local Emirati, good friend of mine who runs the Blockchain Center and the AI Center. He gave me my golden visa to be here. This is Carl Moon. He's one of these Bitcoin billionaires who drives around in a Bugatti, has a luxury penthouse as well. So I've learned a lot about luxury from these guys. This is Chris Crypto, another Bitcoin billionaire who's got a big place in the villa, as you would expect. And these people really showed me what luxury is here. And I really started to understand the mentality. Folks, right now we're investing over $3 million into 6 different luxury refurbishment deals this quarter, and you can be a part of this. Of course, it's all because of this, London Real Ventures. This is the world's first media-powered investment firm. It's never been done before in history, where someone's taken a media channel like ours with 15 years of history, 1 billion views, 5 million subscribers, and combined it with a venture capital firm with $25 million in capital. I mean, it's just never been done. And it's like magic what we've created. And what we've created is this. an incredible portfolio of over 100 of the top AI and blockchain companies out there. A lot of these companies have become billion-dollar, $2 billion platforms since we've invested. And our job in here is our normal job. We're trying to get our members filthy rich. That's what I try to do every day. We try to make them as much money as possible. This is one of our deals that we did there, Skillful AI. This thing was up 20x on the launch. It's AI on the blockchain. We made our group a $4 million profit on that day. This is Shrapnel. We did a 20x in 20 days or a $5 million profit on that one. This was the Mochaverse. It's up 20x on the launch. It's actually a digital ID token for a $7 billion company called Animoca Brands. This is their chairman, Yatsu, a good friend of mine. This is Story Protocol. This is one of our big wins. It's up 42x. And one of our members named Jose, who's actually from Mexico City, who just joined the property circle, he put $50,000 in this deal, and he's up a cool $2 million on one deal. We had about 3 people put in that amount. So, and we, $21 million profit so far. So we've made already some very wealthy people. And of course, this is the $1 billion fund that we invested in the past. It's up 4x already, probably spending up to 8x before we're done. We're actually putting another $1 million into this guy, Dan Tapiero's next $1 billion fund as we speak. This guy is a genius. I've never met a better investor than him. And we're just going to continue giving him money and letting him roll it over and pass that on to the grandkids. So we've had a real history of success here. We've now invested over $25 million in over 100 deals. And we've done that with tremendous success. Here I am last year, was voted Best Venture Capitalist of the Year. I'm accepting that award in Singapore. And yes, that actually is my suit. I have a pink suit, no comment. This is me getting the Lifetime Achievement Award in an orange suit. That is my suit too, and the red one, no comment. That was the Global Family Office Investment Summit, and that was a Lifetime Achievement Award for our content and for our investments. And of course, a lot of you know I'm not afraid to lace up those gloves and jump in the ring, especially when those punk kids start talking a little bit of trash, Andres. These kids these days, they think they can just call out their elders. So every now and then we lace them up and get in the ring. And this honestly just helps our media footprint, as silly as that sounds, and it gets us better deals. And I should be back in there May 1st. They keep giving me these younger opponents. The first kid was 27. The next guy's 19. What are they going to give me next? Like a 7-year-old? I don't know. They always get bigger and stronger every time. I don't know if they got it out for me, but it's all worth it. Folks, how can we maximize our investment returns? Well, if you talk to Ray Dalio, who's a legend in the space, he knows that diversification is the holy grail of investments. And that's what we encourage as well. This is a typical member portfolio, and it's diversified. I would never want you to put 100% of your money in Dubai real estate, even if we were getting 90% returns. It's stupid. Same with crypto. Even if I'm getting you a 42x, never ever put 100% of your money in there. Same with equities, cash, and fixed income. The more you spread this out, mathematically, the higher returns you get over time. And so that's what I tell people. If you have money in real estate, great. Just move some of it over to Dubai real estate, but continue to have a diversified portfolio. That's intelligent, and that's how we're going to make money. Folks, we think the greatest way to predict the future is just to go out there and create it. Stop complaining, stop whining, stop blaming the man, right? Stop blaming your politicians, which really don't have anything to do with your wealth. Just go take action. So I could be in London right now, right, under the pouring rain, whining about the Labour government and some dude that just stole my phone on a bicycle. Or I could come to Dubai and start making a boatload of money for our London Real family. And so I'm voting with my feet, and we're going to manifest our future. That's what we did in 2020 when they tried to shut us down and censor us. I had trillion-dollar tech companies coming after me. I had the UK government trying to censor me. And we said, to hell with all of you. We were going to create our own future. We created our own platform. We kept broadcasting. YouTube deplatformed me. Thank you very much. That's not going to stop us either. And we kept going. And of course, now years later, we were exonerated. We were right. We're back on YouTube. We're back everywhere. They were wrong. We were right. And this is the way we move here. We know we're right about this, and we're going to pursue it and make sure that all of our family can really benefit from it. Folks, this is Ben Bandari. He is the best real estate broker here in Dubai. He's been here 20 years, originally from Toronto. He's also the star of Million Dollar Listing UK, which is a reality show around real estate. They have them everywhere now, right? They have them in LA and everything. It's crazy. And he knows that Dubai property is hot. Here he is, and one of the recent posters for season 2 of Million Dollar Listing UAE. And he really is a star when it comes to what's going on. And I sat down with him on London Real recently, and I asked him, why Dubai? You know, why? Why is this place? Why did you move here from Toronto? Why did you stick with this place? Because it's something that he's all in on, and he really understands that market. And I was like really looking to kind of learn from this guy and see if I could find something out, that maybe he could really share with us. And so I sat down with him and spoke to him, and this is what he told me about Dubai.
How did Dubai become one of the top 5 real estate markets in the world?
There's many factors. The safety and the security is next level. You won't find it anywhere in the world. The leadership had a vision, basically attract foreign investment, bring basically expats here, and to basically expand the culture, the tourism, and the city itself. And they've done a great job. I mean, I've seen it all right from the beginning, from 2002 up until today. You have to come here, you have to see it, you have to experience it to believe it.
And we're seeing a lot of billionaires and a lot of other high net worth people bring their families here, invest in properties.
Everybody's looking to come here. Everyone's looking to move here. The money pours in because of the safety, because of the security, because of the stability.
Boom, that's Ben. One of the great things about having the show is that I can pretty much make contact with anybody I want. All I have to do is say, would you like to be on London Real? So it's a great way for us to network, great way to get deal flow. Takeaways from Ben is this: number one, Dubai has safety and security, period. That's what people want. The leadership here attracts investments because the leadership has a 100-year plan. Good luck with that in America or the West. You have a 4-year election cycle, which means that your leaders are probably thinking ahead 2 years, right? So they can get reelected or they can make as much money as possible before they leave. That's no way to run a country. Here, they're going to be ruling it for a long time. They think long term, and it really shows. Zero personal taxes, new playground for the wealthy, and we're catering exactly to that. So how do we create outsized returns in real estate? Simple. It's deal flow, folks. That's why I'm here. That's why I have such a high profile. And the difference between you making 90% or 9% is me finding the right deal and getting you in it, period. And that's what we're here to do. I've been spending 5 years here, getting to know everybody here, members of government, venture capitalists, influencers, the crypto bros, you name it. And I've gotten to be on stage and interview people. I actually premiered one of our films here, and I'm hanging out with people like CZ from Binance, worth $150 billion. These people have all pointed me in the right direction. But look, if you want to win in this space, you have to invest with the best. And that means getting the deals that have the highest returns. And I'm looking, I really, honestly, Mark, I want to land our first triple digit deal. That's really what I want to do. I want to make 100+% and just make sure I send that, to all the doubters out there. So that's what I'm looking for every single day, a place where I can double your money. But if I can make 50% on your money in the meantime, or 40, that's pretty good too. So I'm looking for everything possible. This is our investor portal. Once you become a member, you go in here, you can look at the deal and you can ask for your allocation. 10K minimum. We try to say 100K maximum. One of our members wants to put $1 million on one of these deals. I was like, hold your horses, Turbo. Let's let everybody else get a piece first. But we're just going to end up doing bigger and bigger deals going forward. Last thing, folks, you got to understand the financial tools. What do I mean? Well, we're using SPVs for this. And SPV stands for a special purpose vehicle. It's like a corporation that gets created just for our real estate deal. Why do we do this? Well, it's its own standalone legal entity. So the owners directly own the asset while you isolate risks from your personal wealth and personal circumstances. It's a ring-fence structure. So it gives a stronger legal protection, cleaner tax treatment, and easier financing and partnerships. It means you actually own the property yourself. You're not hoping and trusting that someone else is going to give you a piece of it. And it allows us to create these minimum investments. It's a really beautiful, clean, transparent way to give you access. This is our portal where we do the SPV and we do KYC, which is Know Your Customer platform. So once you join, you'll get a link from me. You'll get the onboarding video. You'll get access to this. I'll ask you to do your KYC. So you just have to upload who you are, where you're from, blah, 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 a few questions. And then it's like, how much do you want to put in this deal? And we get it wrapped up and we just get it in the bag. So how do you create generational wealth? You got to pull the trigger, folks. You're not going to know anything until you do one of these deals. One thing you don't need is to watch another podcast or read another book about real estate investing, right? And that's what my mentors have taught me over the years. They're like, Brian, stop researching. Research is procrastination in disguise, right? It's hot or it's not. Does this look like a good thing? Yes. Is it with people you love and know and trust? Yes. Well, then pull the trigger. They say fortune favors the brave, and it's true. It's people out there that take action, and there's people there that watch the world go by, right? I heard something the other day, Mark, it was really funny. There's some people that look and they say, what do they say? No, I forgot what it is. It said they see something and then they say, uh, how did this happen? And then the next person say, what? No, person says, what happened? The next person says, how did this happen? And then the one says, like, what happened? I don't know. I think I'm getting messing it up. But it's like there's people that watch, there's people that take action, and then there's people that are actually clueless that it's even going on. And I would say 90% of the world is probably clueless or wondering what just happened, right? And then there's a few people out there that pull the trigger. I always tell people here, start small. Let us prove to you with one investment that we have it. And then you can just start to scale up from there. Timing matters, folks. If you wait, you're going to miss this. First of all, this opportunity is not going to be here forever, and our deals go very fast. The SPVs cannot expand once they're filled by definition. Early investors get priority. Deals close very, very fast. And once allocations are gone, they're gone. I can't recreate the deal over again. This is for serious investors only who want access. This isn't theory. I'm not here to tell you about, the mean reversion hypothesis of the Dubai real estate market. It doesn't really matter. What I know is wealthy people want homes, and we're going to give them the home they want in 12 months, and they're going to pay us a premium. I do not really care if property values go up or down 3% in that period, because I know if we do our job, we're going to make 40%. So this is for people who want real assets, not speculation. You want transparency. You want an SPV ring fence structure, and you want access to real opportunities. I'm here till May, June, and I'm thinking about staying here the whole year because that's why I'm here. I'm here to try to make us as much money as possible. Apply now. It's simple. You get a private membership, you get a lifetime of premium opportunities, you get a chance to build generational wealth in a very safe structure, and it's a $10,000 minimum investment. Honestly, this thing sells itself. Every time I do these master classes, like I want to buy 10, right? But I guess I can't. But it's such a no-brainer for me. It's just so obvious. And these things don't happen very often. We choose one of these opportunities like every 4 or 5 years, and then we pivot. The last one was blockchain in 21, and that made about right sense. So we're 5 years after that, and we're pivoting into this. I think we can ride this one hard for 5 years. And I think actually we're going to find other types of real estate investments here. But this stuff doesn't come along very often. You have to seize it when it does. Best way to do this is to apply now. Go to londonreal.tv/Dubai. I literally see the applications. So does Mark. Goes right into our inboxes. We read them. We'll contact you right away, right? We'll reach out probably within 20, 30 minutes and see if we can answer your questions. What do you need? How can we help? And let's try to get you in on this current deal. I got a little allocation left if you want to squeeze in. This is the most powerful money-making opportunity I've ever seen. From a risk-reward basis, it's better than anything I've ever seen, and I've seen it all, right? But again, this will not last forever. Great opportunities never do. And that's why we want to take advantage. Folks, here's that video I promised you. Go to londonreal.tv/replay. It's going to show you how to invest in luxury Dubai real estate in 3 easy steps. Honestly, the best thing you can do is just take action, right? Literally pull the trigger and do something. People said like, Brian, does this make sense? I'm like, look, this is a lifetime membership. Whatever I'm going to teach you, you can amortize this over 10 years. It's like nothing. And the opportunities we're going to give you is amazing. Plus you can watch how I make money. You can watch how we multiply people's portfolio. We got people all over the world joining us. Who do we have, Mark? We got Australia. I go around the globe. We got like Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Singapore, Oman, Kuwait, Saudi, all European countries, West Coast, East Coast, Central Time, Mexico City with Jose, and we got someone else from there, South America. It's just like all around the globe. It's actually hard to do our live call because somebody's sleeping, but we record it, so there's no problem. Next live call is coming up soon. I'd love for you all to be on there. If you have any questions, please submit them here and I can answer them. But like we designed this presentation because we've already had tons of questions come in, hundreds. And I tried to answer everything in here. So I think we did. It's really up to you now. What did you make last year on your portfolio? That's my question. Even if it was small amounts of money, but was it in a savings account? Was it in a mutual fund? A lot of those mutual funds are very deceiving. They charge a 2%, 3% fee every year. And if you keep it in there for 5 years, they're taking 15% of your money. It's hard over time for the markets to outweigh that. Maybe you did have your money in an S&P futures tracker If you did, God bless you. Okay. You made 15% last year. That's still a third of what you can make with us. So really think hard, like your home. How much did your home appreciate last year compared to inflation in your local currency? In the UK, you lost money on your home last year. So, like, you have to really ask yourself, what are you doing? Governments are printing so much money. Did you see gold today? Gold almost hit $5,000 an ounce. Why did that happen, Andres? Because nobody trusts the dollar or the euro or the pound anymore. Because governments print money, print money, print money whenever there's a problem. Oh, COVID, print money, right? Oh, economy is doing bad, print money. Because everyone wants an excuse. Everybody wants to get saved. Nobody wants to do the hard work. And so they look at things like gold and real estate and Bitcoin and they say, wow, you can't make more of those. And it's proof that your money is becoming more and more worthless. So again, when you look at your home appreciation, this is one of the myths out there. My home has been appreciated 7% every year. No, your currency has depreciated 7% a year. Okay. And so it looks like it's getting more expensive. No, your money's getting more worthless every year. And so we're investing in something that's a transformation project, right? We know people are willing to pay a 30, 40, 50, 67% premium when we do our job right. And that's how you're benefiting. So think long and hard about where your capital is. You might say, oh, it doesn't matter. But if you have $100,000 in savings and you make 2% a year, well, in 5 years, you'll have about $11,000. If you make 50% a year, in 5 years, you'll have about $250,000. Think about that. This is real money that can affect you and your family or your future family if you look at it that way. Folks, I think that's it. Come apply now. You'll hear from myself or Mark. Reach out to us. We're always open for a call. Sometimes we get crazy busy. So if we ignore your message for a little bit, it's just because like we're literally inundated with hundreds and hundreds of people that want to join, but we've got time for you, especially if you've got a history with us. It really makes a big difference. So look, I think that's it. Just want to say thank you to everybody. Really appreciate this. I'm having the time of my life. I don't know if you can tell, but I am. And we're looking really to create some amazing returns and do some amazing business. I think that's it. Lots of love, everybody. We'll see you on the inside. All right. Bye.